Hello and welcome to 501c3 Go's Getting to Know You. 501c3 Go, for 40 years, we've been changing the world one nonprofit at a time. 501c3 Go prepares the legal structure for your dream and vision to change the world. We honor your service to mankind, whatever that happens to be. Getting to know you allows you to know our clients, who are wonderful people doing wonderful things to change the world for the better. On this evening's Getting to Know You program, we are pleased to present Abby Garcia, President and a Director of Refuse to Sink, Inc. in Lake Placid, Florida. Refuse to Sink has been set up to bring awareness to mental health issues and suicide prevention. Good evening, Abby, and welcome to Getting to Know You.
Good evening, David. Thank you for having me tonight.
First, I'm sure our viewers would like to know of your background.
Well, I'm 45 years old. I live in Lake Placid, Florida. I'm originally from Clewiston, Florida, which is a small town on Lake Okeechobee. I was the mother to 3 sons. I am now the mother of 2 sons after suffering the loss of my son to death by suicide in February 23rd of 2018.
I'm so sorry.
So I'm now a grieving mom, but I have 2 other children who are healthy and happy, and we look forward to every day of their future right now.
Yes. Well, my gosh, what a reason to start this nonprofit if there ever was one.
Yes, sir. It is exactly what we're meant to be doing right now.
So that's how you got interested in this, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Very soon after my son's passing, we decided to do a sugar festival, which is an event held after the sugarcane mill goes down for the season in Clewiston. And we presented suicide prevention information at that event. We also did a fundraiser. A bench. We raffled off a bench, and it was our first fundraising effort before we even knew that Refuse to Sink was going to exist. And from there, we just knew that we were going to do something, and we knew we wanted to become a nonprofit, and that was in the back of our mind at all times. And now it's a reality with the thanks to you, David, because I could not have done this without you. Absolutely not. It was definitely a group effort on my side. There was a team put together that has worked really hard. And David worked really hard with us. You did amazing. And here we are today. Our first event is September 11th. It consists of a bass tournament. My son and my vice.
We've lost the audio. Can you hear me? We've lost the audio. I cannot hear you. Say something.
Did I lose you for a second?
Yeah, okay, you're back. Okay, yeah, you
Okay.
for sure. Okay, you're back.
So because my son and my vice president's husband both liked bass fishing so much, we decided to hold a bass tournament as the venue for our fundraiser. Wow. And on top of that, we're having a fish fry with Lake Okeechobee catfish, which is a big favorite around here. And we are also having t-shirt sales for the day of our event. We are also having decal sales, decals that go on Yeti cups, for instance, or on cars. We are also having a silent auction and a huge raffle, and we have raffle tickets being sold now. So we have, to date, we have 22 corporate sponsors.
Wow.
So we're doing beyond what we thought we were going to do, and thanks be to God for that, because He is in control of this endeavor, most definitely. And I've trusted Him along the way and trusted you, and here we are today, and it's not even September 11th yet, and 22 sponsors.
That's fabulous, Abby. That is just fabulous. That's remarkable, and it's just great. And I wish I were going to be there at your event. It's not possible, of course, but still, I wish I were going to be there with you. You mentioned how we helped you. Did you find it? You know, we never say we make it easy. We may say we make it easier. Did you find that it was not over your head?
It was not. With your guidance, there was times I was a little confused, but as soon as I called you, you talked me right through it, and it made it so much easier.
Well, thank you for that. I'm sure glad that is certainly our goal. What are your biggest challenges now, Abby?
Well, I'm not having any big challenges right now. We're actually on this ride, this journey that is going so well, that further than we expected so soon, and we're just blessed.
Have you helped people before now? I mean, now that you're a nonprofit, have you been able to help people with mental health issues and suicide?
Well, we actually have an application process, and throughout our application process, once our fundraising efforts have already taken place, we will be helping people in the area with setting other nonprofits up to help the people that are in need in our area. We are already working with the First United Methodist Church, and we do a scholarship program for counseling through a licensed counselor. And we have already helped them, and we will continue to support that effort. That is my home church. They have a fund that is earmarked for Refuse to Sink. My son's celebration of life was held there. He went there as a child. And we have provided over 70 counseling services in the Hendry Glades area here in Florida.
Does that mean 70 counseling sessions, or exactly what is that?
That was sessions, and that is actually data that's a couple months old. So I haven't reached out to get the newest numbers from the church, but that there was 11 of those that had gone more than one time that were return patients, clients.
Are these mostly helping the person themselves, or like is it helping parents who have children that have these risks?
We're actually helping all ages. Okay. This has become, suicide is prevalent in all age groups. There are statistics that show that certain age groups are affected more than others, but we're helping all age groups in the rural communities that we serve, which is around the lake area, because there is a lack of resources in this area. So we want, at this time, there's a lack of resources, and we are actually very excited to have the funds that we have coming in order for other nonprofits that may even have to create a program and apply to us so it's in line with our mission, and then we can fund them. And who knows what the future holds for us? We may be creating those programs. We've actually thought about in the future applying for grants. I don't know if it'll come down to that. I'm not sure if we're going to get to that point, but we have some people on our team that are experienced with that. And we just want to help bring awareness to mental health issues, mental health illness, and suicide prevention and awareness. And September is the month that Suicide Prevention Month, and the 11th is actually the last day of Suicide Week. So we are holding our event on the last day and in the month of suicide prevention. So it means a lot to us. We're trying to detach the stigma that's attached with mental illness and suicide, and really just help people find the resources they need for their specific problem.
Is it often counseling that they need?
Counseling is always a good.
Oh, we lost the audio again. I don't know if you can hear me, but I can't hear you. There's no audio. Maybe it'll come back. I hope it'll come back on. Say something, Abby. Say something.
Are you here?
Okay, now I can hear you again.
I'm sorry. It seems like my internet's giving me a little trouble today.
Yeah, it does say network bandwidth is low. Well, that's all right. We'll do fine. What age group is more likely to have this problem?
It affects all age groups, David. My vice president actually has a master's degree in counseling, and she is the expert that speaks on behalf of suicide numbers and who exactly is affected most. So I do not really offhand have those numbers, but my son was 24 and her husband was in his 40s. And it's happening to kids younger and younger. So it's across the board, and veterans are highly, highly, highly affected by it.
Yes. Well, it's just a real shame. You know, it seems to me if counseling can be done over the phone, I don't know. Let me ask you, can it be done over the phone? Because we reach a whole national audience. There might be volunteers that could help counsel that live in New York or California. I don't know. This is just an idea.
Counseling can be done by phone, and with these times with COVID, people are doing more of what they call a telehealth visit, where they talk by phone, and that is an option for all people. There's several lines out there that they can get connected with counseling services. In our area, our counselor would provide a telehealth if needed as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is absolutely wonderful. Do you need volunteers, Abby?
We accept all volunteers with an open heart and open arms. We actually have a great team right now, and we have a great team for the day of the event, but anybody who would like to help or know more about this organization is free to contact me at any time, and I'm always available. And any questions they might have. I'm not the expert on nonprofits yet. I'm still learning, but that's where David comes in.
Yeah, well, why don't you give your contact information? We'll give you a chance to do that again at the end. But since you mentioned, how people can get in touch with you.
Well, we have a Facebook page that is Refuse to Sink. And we do social media every couple days, sometimes every day. We actually have somebody on our team that's doing that for us, which has been such a big help, because I just, working a full-time job and being the head of a nonprofit is time consuming for me, and to do the posting myself is time consuming, and I put a lot more thought into it than the person we have doing it for us, Breezy. Her name is Breezy. She's wonderful. So we have a whole team of people, but we are always looking for anybody. On our Refuse to Sink page, there's lots of information about our organization. We just got set up with some email addresses, but right now I'm using my personal email, and I will give that out. That is Abby, A-B-B-Y, Alex, A-L-E-X, Garcia, G-A-R-C-I-A @gmail.com. I can also be reached at 863-233-9973. And thank you for this time today and listening to what we're trying to accomplish.
Well, Abby, let's say there's some counselor who does have experience in this kind of thing, and he's in Iowa City or in Salt Lake City or somewhere else. Would he be able to help your organization?
I don't see why not. I think we could talk about it and see how telehealths and things like that could happen. I'm not in charge of the counseling services at the church. The counselor is, but I'm in constant communication with her. So over time, we could figure out a way for people to help the organization from afar. We would love that.
And there might be people that need this help from afar also. I mean, this is a big country. And with the internet and telephones and all that today, there's just less and less actual getting together for this kind of thing anyway. And I'm just thinking if somebody, at the end of the program, you can give the contact information again, but that somebody who says, I really need, I'm thinking of doing it tonight. I'm thinking of ending my life tonight. Well, if they call you, then you can turn them over to a counselor or a counselor. It seems like that might save a life.
Dave, I'm also going to give you some contact information here. I want to quote the number appropriately. Give me just a second.
Sure.
Technology.
Yes, right. A constant challenge.
I do not have this number memorized, and I should, but this is the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. The hours are 24 hours a day. They have English and Spanish. The number is 1-800-273-8255. That's a very important number for someone who is in crisis and that needs immediate attention.
That is great, Abby. One reason I think people might want to talk to you is because you are believers. And I imagine sometimes when you call these national lines, you don't know who they're talking to. Not that they couldn't help you, but sometimes people feel a little more comfortable if they're talking to somebody that is spiritually in tune with them.
Yes, that is comforting to some people and very important to some people.
Do you have any stories to tell, Abby, about people who have come in crisis? Maybe they were going to end it right away, and you could tell us, a story or two.
Well, truthfully, we have had positive outcomes with the people that we have personally been contacted by because we've set them in the right direction for success. I can't tell you the day of my son's funeral or celebration of life. I had several people come up to me and tell me a story about someone who was suffering in their family or someone they knew that was suffering with mental illness, and how my son's death impacted them and how they were going to be an advocate for that person now and help them to get help. And we have had many stories like that. And my vice president, Marcy, her husband was a deputy for many years, over a decade. And he ended his life by suicide shortly after my son, with no signs of mental illness.
Is it by definition, if you want to commit suicide, is that by definition you have a mental health issue?
No.
No, if you can be perfectly mentally healthy and you just figure, the world doesn't need me and I don't need the world, I suppose.
Yes, I'm not an expert in that area. However, that's true. There are many stories of people who did not suffer mental illness. In my case, my son suffered from mental illness throughout his teenage years, and he passed away when he was 24. And as a mother, I knew that I would lose him young. I don't know how. I knew, but I knew. And the weeks leading up to his death were basically a crisis situation in the months before. And I didn't know that it would end this way, but it did.
Without getting personal, what kind of crisis? So people might understand when they see somebody in this situation.
Well, there were lots of signs of distress, but people with mental illness compensate and can hide a lot of what they're actually feeling and what they're hearing inside, and what they're going through.
Yeah.
And they are very good at disguising how they feel so other people don't see it, because my son personally was very embarrassed by the fact that he had mental illness and that he needed to be on medication. It affected him significantly.
Yes. Well, I don't know if this story is appropriate or not, and we can always cut it out of the video, but at one point I wanted to commit suicide. I broke up with my girlfriend, and I broke all the dishes in the house, and it was in the San Francisco area. I drove to the Golden Gate Bridge, which is where people jumped off in those days. I don't think you can do that today. I drove to the middle of the bridge, left my car there, and went to the edge, and I said, this girl's not worth it. I'm not going to do this. Got back in my car and drove back.
I'm thankful for that. I'm glad that you did not do that, and I'm very happy that you're with us today.
Yeah, me too. So, Abby, you're just such a blessing. You really are a blessing. And would you like to add any other comments before you give us your final contact information?
Refuse to sink.
There you are. That's the way. We all have to realize that we have a greater power. We have God that can help us to refuse to sink.
Absolutely. He is our anchor.
All right. Well, why don't you finally give the contact information again, because it's so important that people can get in touch with you. And if you would, please.
I'm going to start again with the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. Again, that number is 800-273-8255. My contact information is 863-233-9973. And my email address is abbyalexgarcia@gmail.com. If you're interested in finding out more about Refuse to Sink, please like our Facebook page.
There we go.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, David.
It's been a real pleasure, Abby, and this YouTube video will go all over. So thanks for joining 501c3 for getting to know you. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and connect with us on LinkedIn. Thank you so much.